G'day everyone, and for those who come in late, you're listening to Expand the Phantom podcast.
He washed ashore the sole survivor of a shipwreck, and upon the skull of the man who killed his dad, he said, "I'm mad, I must eradicate piracy, injustice and cruelty, and all my sons will follow me, so evildoers will believe that this man cannot die."
The Phantom,
The ghost who walks,
the Phantom,
enemies beware, the Phantom's always there, but you won't find the Phantom.
Hello, we are the Chronicle Chamber team, and this is Expand the Phantom podcast. Our website is chroniclechamber.com, and you can contact us via our email, which is chroniclechamber@gmail.com. You can subscribe to us via YouTube or your various podcast apps like iTunes or Spotify. Now, this is episode 214A. Yes, a special A issue, and it is a call out to Ukraine. Now, this is only going to be a quick one, and it's only myself today from the normal Chronicle Chamber team, but I have a very special guest, and we have Sal Valuta, who is joining us for this short special episode. Now, if you are on social media or you are not living under a rock, you would know that Sal has been very visible with his support for Ukraine, and especially the children that are affected with this war. So, Sal, how are you, sir?
very well. It's nice to see you, Jermaine. And we want people to know that you woke up very early today to do this thing. So to me, here it's like an early evening in Utah, USA. But Jermaine had to put his alarm clock very early this morning. And actually, I think it took him like 2 or 3 times before he actually woke up. So he's here, finally. We got him. We're so lucky. Good to be here, Jermaine.
The first thing Sal said to me was, "Oh, you look like you've just gotten out of bed." I had to explain to him this is what I look like most of the time. So, Sal, thank you for joining us. Now, I know for myself, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners have seen it as well. We've seen you partner with Herms, and we've seen you doing on your own back, really. A lot of artwork donations raising money for the war in Ukraine. Now, what we're doing is together as Chronicle
Raising
Chamber,
money for the children of Ukraine who have been affected by war.
Yes, exactly. So what we're doing is basically we're opening it up to see if there's any other artists that want to join in on support. We want to give other fans and artists the chance to do something the same as what Sal has done already. Now, Sal, just quickly, what's why? Why have you decided to do this? Why do you want to help support the children in Ukraine?
Yeah, first of all, I need to make a premise by saying that I'm so grateful about the contribution to several causes that Chronicle Chambers has given. And this is not the first time. Many of us will remember that we got together before. It was 2 years ago?
Yes, in 2020. Yeah.
For the bushfires. And it was thanks to Chronicle Chambers, all the connections, that you guys have there, that we were able to give a little contribution, which was very significant and meaningful, especially for the people who had the opportunity to be part of that. Why do I do this? It's not the first time. When events like this happen, you feel kind of powerless. I remember how I felt when we had 9/11, and one of the first preoccupations, I was working for Marvel Comics at the time doing Black Panther, and one of the first things that came to mind: how are my friends, the people that I work with in Marvel, doing right now? And so not just me, but many of us were trying to get in touch with the editor that we were working with at the time. And many times we couldn't until, right after. And when we finally got together and we ascertained that they were okay, the natural question that we had, what can we do? And so the answer to that question was a volume that Marvel ended up producing called Heroes. And many of you probably remember that. And I did a piece depicting children. It was like a Norman Rockwell, take on the situation where the children had abandoned the superheroes, action figures they were playing with, to dressed as firemen and ambulance workers, and taking the resemblance, mimicking the real heroes. Those were the real heroes. That came in response to the question, what can I do? The same thing happened with the bushfires. The same thing is happening, now with Ukraine. We, as professionals, okay, we live in this reality. This is my world, in these four walls. We live so separate from the actual reality to live our fantasies. And we feel, sometimes after dealing with these powerful heroes, Phantom included, it's the epitome of what a hero can be and what a difference it can make. We feel powerless. And so what can we do? We know how to draw. I can give a good contribution with my artwork. And so these things come natural. And in situations like this, given the great need that especially the children have in this situation, I decided to, do the same thing I've done in other situations. And I feel lucky and privileged to have found, Jermaine and the friends from the Chronicle Chambers who are on the same wavelength. And so it became natural for us, to get together. And, I'm just, I hope to be just one of many artists that contributes to this thing.
Very well said. So some of you may know, I actually have a childhood friend who I've known since 3 years old, who is actually a missionary in Ukraine. Just I think it's about a 2-hour drive out of Kiev. And so he dealt a lot with orphans and youth, displaced youth, before the war. Now, basically, what he is doing is he is people smuggling, people across the border, helping people escape, and then he's also helping in other practical means by doing up food parcels and medical bags and giving out donations and stuff like that as well. So we've been friends. We've known each other for 30 plus years. And it really puts a personal element to it when there's someone who's affected. You see videos of him on Facebook and the walls behind him are shaking. He wakes up in the middle of the night to air raid sirens. His house shakes. It paints a reality where some of us who are lucky enough to be in suburbia in half a world away, we cannot fathom. So
Yes.
So look, it's great to be able to, I guess, play a small part to be able to support. Now the charity that you've put up in this case, Sal, is Unicef. Could you just tell us a little bit about why Unicef and what stands out to you about them?
Well, the reason why this is not the first time that I work for Unicef. when I go out to conventions, especially when I work on Sundays. I usually don't work on Sundays. That's my sabbatical. Okay.
Yeah.
But when I have to work on Sundays, I use all the money that I make in favor of UNICEF. This is in Italian, so this is something that I used recently in Italy. So I've been familiar with this organization, which is an organization out of the United Nations. So it has an incredible track record, and you can even follow from their website what they're doing day by day, in Ukraine in this case, which is one of the areas that they work all over the world. There's a lot of problems right now. Ukraine, is the one that comes to the fore more, but there's a lot of realities that this money takes care of. In this case, though, the money goes to UNICEF, to the Ukrainian children. It's a specific fund. It doesn't go to the UNICEF in general, but it's specifically targeted for the Ukrainian children. And UNICEF also uses like more than 97% of the money they receive that goes to the children, to the help. So they have less than 3% of money for administrative costs, which is very, very important. Another practical thing that led me to use UNICEF is the fact that we could receive a receipt of the donation that is given, and this receipt can be given to the person that makes the donation, and the receipt can be in his name, her name, and so you can see, where your money is going. This is totally transparent, and it's done with real intent, and with a secure, very defined target. It's very, very specific. So that to me is something that can be encouraging for people to see where their money is going.
Yeah, exactly. So what we'll do is we'll quickly go over the process. So basically what's going to happen is Chronicle Chamber is just the microphone here. We will, I guess, kind of like the middle person. We're not making, so the artist creates the work. The artist, I guess, then shows off the work with a price, or they send the details to Chronicle Chamber, and then we can show on our social media platforms. So, for instance, Sel has Sel has another piece that he'll be donating to the cause. Then the buyer reserves the piece. Now, to reserve the piece of artwork, you have to email us, so that way we can timestamp it, and it's first in, best dress. First serve, come. Oh, what's your saying over there?
First come, first serve in
first
America.
Come, first served.
First, yeah.
First in, best dress.
I like the best dressed though better.
So if there's 4 people that email it, we're going off the earliest timestamp, and then you send the money to Chronicle Chamber via PayPal or EFT if you're in Australia, EFT. Chronicle Chamber sends the money to UNICEF in the buyer's name. So if, I'll just use one of my colleagues, if Stephen East buys the piece, Chronicle Chamber pays for it in Stephen East's name, which then sends the receipt to the buyer, so that way you can use it for tax purposes if you want, or you can frame it that you've donated. And then the artists, once we then communicate to the artist, i.e. Sel, Stephen East has purchased this piece, this is his details, and then the artist sends the art to the buyer. However, the purchaser may need to pay extra for the postage, but that is something dealt with the buyer and the artist. I.e. if Stephen East purchased something from Sel, the chances are it's going to cost a little bit extra, because we're going from US
Mhm.
to Australia, so Stephen may need to pay for postage. But if
Yeah,
it's Cell sending it to Pete Claus, it might not. It probably won't be as much money, so Cell
Yeah.
might just send that off. But that
in my case, if the buyer's in the United States, I will pay for priority mail and from
Yeah.
my pocket. They don't have to worry about it. If it's in Australia or in another part of the world, we can be in touch with the buyer, and I can tell him, look, if you want me, I can send it to you first class airmail, and I'll pay for it. But if you want it express mail or priority mail, then you have to help me with the expenses. That's basically it.
But that's something that needs to be dealt with between the buyer and the artist. If there's any issues, of course, we will help and stuff like that, but I don't expect there to be any issues. So anything you wanted to add to that process, Sal?
Well, should we show what my piece looks like?
Yes. So Sal's done one piece. I believe you've got another piece coming as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have two pieces depicting the Phantom. And it looks like this. It's kind of similar to the ones that I've done for myself personally, and also the ones for Hermes Press, which has the background with the color of the Ukrainian flag, and the Phantom in black and white, and it's autographed, of course. And this is not yet. I'll do it now, but my pieces come stamped in the back, says artwork by Salveluto, and it's signed by me, so you know that this is an original Salveluto piece. So what we're hoping that will happen is that I'm just the blazer here, and many other artists will join Chronicle Chambers in this initiative, and we'll be able, Jermaine and our other friends will be able to keep you updated on the pieces that are coming available, and maybe do some other videos, some whatever promotion, but you'll be kept updated to about what's going on, and also the progress, how much money we're raising and so forth. Also, Jermaine will establish what the price is for my piece, and it will communicate that on the Chronicle Chamber's website, right?
Yes. It will probably be in one currency. I haven't figured out whether it will be Australian or US yet. That will be, yeah. So all of the information, along with the process and all the information that we've talked about on this video, it will be on our website. It will probably be there will be a nice little URL. There'll be a page on it with the video plus all the artwork. And then when people buy their artwork and get it, if you're a buyer, take a photo of it like you did with the Chronicle Chamber book as well. Now, please note, we're just a microphone here. We're joining with Cell, and we're putting out the call for other artists to draw something special. And then basically the money raised will be going to Unicef. Artists, if there's any artists out there, we will be contacting artists as well. But if you are listening to this or watching this, or you've come across us via social media or whatever, if you want to participate, our email address is chroniclechamber@gmail.com. Again, it will be in the show notes. This will be on YouTube as well, and it will be on there as well. But contact us, show us the art, and basically you can give us what you think it's worth, and then we can kind of basically go from there. Now, again, we will post the artwork as it comes up. To reserve the art, it will be first in, best dressed. You have to reserve it by email only, which is chroniclechamber@gmail.com. That's also our PayPal address as well. Artists, we will be in touch. If there's any other artists that would like to, like as Sal said, that will want to do a video, unveiling or want to talk to us about it or anything else like that, please contact us. And again, all funds go to UNICEF. Less than 3% of what is donated is for admin fees, which for those who aren't good at maths, that's over 97% of the actual money you donate actually goes to the cause. And the cause is for the children in Ukraine. Sal, thank you for for being a trailblazer, for being a great ambassador for the Phantom. Before we go, is there anything you wanted to quickly add?
No, I'm very curious and excited to see who's going to be next. And
yes,
it's kind of a little bit of a challenge between us artists. And I'd like to call out Antonio Lemos. Okay, Antonio, can you hear me? Okay, I challenge you to be the next in line. Okay, I know you very well, not just as an artist, but as a great human being. And I'm sure that you will give us a hint. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sal. Thank you. Thank you for everyone listening to us. Of course, our website is chroniclechamber.com. Our email again is chroniclechamber@gmail.com. This is released on our podcast platform as well. So if you want to listen to more of our podcasts as well, you can follow us on YouTube and also the various other podcast apps like iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc. So from myself and behalf of the other guys at Chronicle Chamber, thank you for your support and happy Phantom.
Happy Phantom.
And upon the skull of the man who killed his dad, he said, "I'm mad, I must eradicate piracy, injustice and cruelty, and all my sons will follow me, so evildoers will believe that this man cannot die."
The Phantom,
The ghost who walks.
the Phantom,
Enemies beware, the Phantom's always there, but you won't find the Phantom. He finds you.